Hello, my friends. I'm here to talk to you about Free Comic Book Day. That was last Saturday, and me and my boyfriend were out of town. And we stopped at a comic shop, and the comic shop there was giving out 12 books a person. He ended up grabbing a couple of the same ones I did, so we ended up with 20 books, brand new comic books. Hell yeah. So I read all of those over the weekend, and it was just a blast. And I'm going to go through and count down with you from number 20 to number 1. And at number 20, we have this Blood Hunt special with the Uncanny X-Men. And this is just a preview for the upcoming Marvel event that I don't care about, and a preview of an X-Men series that was just frankly bad. This upcoming event was well written, and the artwork was good. I would have rated this higher if the whole thing was just more pages of this event preview. But the X-Men issue was so bad I had to look at who it was who wrote it, and it was just, I did not enjoy it. I thought it was just, yeah, very hacky. This is Gail Simone, so bad job on her. I've read some other stuff by her that I thought was fantastic. Do better. I know you can. I know you can, because I've read better from you. What are you doing? Really turns me off checking out the new X-Men, which is having a relaunch. But I know they have 2 other titles as well. This Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles here is coming in at number 19. And this is also a case of I don't care about the series really. This first bit here is all about the current continuity, which I just do not care about at all. I have not been reading, and what little I have read, I frankly do not like. But there's a second feature in this book right here, and this was absolutely fun. I enjoyed this quite a lot. And if the whole book was just this but more pages, I would have rated this much higher on my list. Much like I said about the last book with Blood Hunt. So this was fun. The artwork, again, more cartoony, but I enjoyed the story, and the artwork was very fun. So the rest of this is just previews. I'm just kind of trying to make this brief, so excuse me if I'm not going over everything. Number 18 we have here, Absolute Power, and this had really cool artwork, really good artwork, and the story's all right, but most of this book is just a lot of preview stuff, like advertisements, and I'm not really into the current DC continuity. I still follow Flash through trade paperbacks, but I jumped off of Superman when Philip Kennedy Johnson left. And yeah, I'm not going to talk about all of my current reading habits, but let's just say I'm not going to be picking up this event. But it looks cool, and if I was following current continuity, it looks a lot better than some of the other events I've seen. I really like Mark Waid's World's Finest, though. That is on my pull list, and that book is absolutely phenomenal. It's everything I could want. This Street Fighter vs. Final Fight was pretty cool. It's got some decent fights in it, but I'm not crazy about this exaggerated cartoony artwork. And I have some cartoony artwork higher up on my list, but some about this artwork, it just blends cartoony with realism in a way that just really, like, I do not like how he's drawing Guile and Chun-Li there at all. And also, I'm not really big on Street Fighter. If I was going to play a fighting game, I'd reach for Mortal Kombat, and I like the Mortal Kombat lore, but I don't really know any of these characters. Although I love Final Fight. The first Final Fight is one of my favorites. I even have one of them arcade one-ups of that. That game's just the absolute best. But yeah, I don't like some of this exaggerated cartoony artwork. Although this guy's pretty hot. I love his crazy hair. But yeah, I don't know. It is where it is on my list. That's not to say it's bad. Same goes with this here, the Valiants. This one was actually really good. The artwork was fantastic, and the writing was pretty good. It just didn't hook me for any of these characters or the world or make me want to check out their universes. And I have some other books higher up on my list just because it was able to make me want to pick up the upcoming issue and see what's going on next. And this one didn't do that for me, but the artwork's really cool. Like, look at that. That's some real good detailing and everything. And she's cool. I like this fight she has where her hair goes all crazy with the ninja guy. That was pretty cool. I think these characters would make really good fighting game characters. Like, I think the Valiant universe is just as ripe as like Street Fighter as far as fighting characters. But maybe that's just because I lean into the more Mortal Kombat. He totally looks like a Mortal Kombat character, that Bloodshot. So now on to the next stack of 5 I got here. So number 15, we got the Overstreet Guide to Collecting Comics. And this one here was just kind of silly fun. I can see a lot of people not wanting to pick this up here, but I liked it a lot just because it's a comic book about how to store and collect comics. And like, I know all this stuff pretty much, but I just got a good laugh out of reading this. So that's what you'll find in here, along with some advertisements for Overstreet themselves. Not much to it, but real fun. So that's number 15. 14 we got here is this One Piece story. And it also features this other manga, Status Royale. And the One Piece story was real good. I guess it's not the One Piece guy who's working on it, but some other fellow who works with him. You know how all that manga is. But I can't go into it. I don't read One Piece. Me and my boyfriend were watching the anime on Hulu, but we jumped ship around episode 200, right when they were wandering around in the desert. I was liking it well enough, but my boyfriend just really couldn't stand the main character, that Luffy guy. But I won't get into all that. It was alright. I've seen a lot of better animes, though. I just started that Demon Slayer, and I think I'm about to quit that just because of the main character is such a crybaby. Oh my goodness. But this is all about the main character of One Piece's older brother. This hot dude right here. He's on fire. He's also got great abs, though. But yeah, so this is pretty cool. I found that character interesting when I was watching the anime, but again, this is very short. It's only the first half, and it was real fun, but like a lot of manga, it just reads so quickly. And I have it rated much lower on my list because this second feature I just did not like at all. It didn't do a good job introducing me to the concept and idea. And also I just thought the concept and idea was really stupid. About these people like hooking up into a game to like compete and do stuff. But yeah, it's just not for me. So that's why I have it rated lower. But if the whole thing was this One Piece story, Ace's story, I would have rated this higher. It was pretty cool though. I'd say it's worth checking out depending on how many free comic books you could have grabbed in your list. Now, I usually have my Archie comics higher on my list when I read them. They're usually really good. They've been doing these horror stories lately, and this was a pretty good horror anthology. I just think at this point we're getting into stuff I really liked, as opposed to just stuff I read just because it was there. And I honestly thought I would like this one more, but I didn't get into I didn't get into any of the stories, and I think that's because they tried making this a full-on anthology with like an interweaving story tying them together, and so it just previewed a bunch of other stories. However, I do have to say this page right here, I stopped and like I just really appreciated it. Look at that. That is funny. That is funny as hell. Eat it, Satan. That's just great. Oh, I love it. But like that's the best moment in the book here. But that didn't sell me on the whole book itself. And like I said, in previous ones they've had more. Even when they've done previews of smaller stories, all the stories felt like a whole story, whereas this is just little snippets interwoven with this girl Jinx's story here. So that's why I didn't really have this higher up. Usually when I'm reading these Archie books, they're a full-on story, and they're usually just older reprints and things. I don't know. Still, it was pretty good. But this one right here was awesome. This Gotcha Man. I honestly should have rated it higher, except I didn't. This is a whole lot of fun. I like this cover art a lot, but this interior artwork is really cool. Now we have 3 stories in this book here. They're all real good, but I liked the first and the third one the most. Not to trash on any of these people who worked on that second book here. This first one I thought was a great introduction. Now I barely remember Gotcha Man, but I'm like vague memories and a soft familiarity with them. But this did a good job at introducing with a roll call of who everybody was and the basic fun premise of these science ninja adventurer guys. And I also love all that Sentai crap, so like it's totally up my alley. Yeah, I think this is a good book. Could have I put it higher up on my list? Yeah, maybe. But as you see, I go through all these. It gets harder and harder whittling them down. That said, I think I gotta be real careful with my budget, and I'm already picking up about 5 titles a month, and I really should trim that down to smaller, but I can't bring myself to. And this looks like a great title to check out and pick up, and this is the schedule for what they're putting out. But I just don't think I can fit this in a budget. I'd like to, because I had a lot of fun with this book. It's one to look out for. Now this Hellboy one, I love me some Hellboy, and this should be higher up on my list, except it also says down here, also featuring Stranger Things. Yeah, right, this is Stranger Things and Friend, if you know what I'm saying. It leads with this good Hellboy story, which I absolutely love, but it was way too short. This should have been the whole issue, and instead I get half a really good Hellboy story, and then I get a bunch of Stranger Things nonsense, which I just do not care about at all. And not only do I not care about it, but I actively resent it because I could be getting more Hellboy. So that made me, this would have been much higher on the list, but I really like the Hellboy story, so that's how it got that high. Come to think of it, though, I like the Gotcha Man issue way more than that book as a whole. Like, the Gotcha Man was good as a whole. So yeah, let me switch those around. Let's put Gotcha Man at 11 and Hellboy at 12. So here we got 15. And this is Spider-Man and the Ultimate Universe. And again, this is one of those situations where I liked one a lot more than the other. I did not like this Spider-Man story. I checked out one issue of New Spider-Man a little while ago. I'd say probably about a year ago at this point, and I did not like it at all. And I did not like this, so I think I've just come to the conclusion that I don't like Spider-Man anymore. Except I've been rereading old Spider-Man, and I think it's fantastic. So, New Spider-Man, do better. I know you can. I know you can do better. But this right here, this was really cool. So I guess this is a preview for the Ultimate Universe stuff, and I didn't check out that new Ultimates miniseries. And I guess this is also completely separated from the old Ultimate Universe. It's just its own new universe they're calling Ultimate. So, like I call Shenanigans, get different branding. But I'm hooked by the introduction of these new group of Avengers. Doctor Doom seems to be on the team, and I know this big bad guy, the Maker, is actually the Ultimate Universe version of Reed Richards. So I think that dynamic could be cool, and I like that they're bringing in Jim Hammond, the original Human Torch, as a character. And this preview of the Avengers right here looks dope. So I'm actually kind of hooked. This made me want to check out this new Ultimate series. And I think I might at least pick up the first issue just to see how it is. I remember picking up the trade paperback of the original Ultimates, the first trade paperback, when I was in high school, and that just blew me away. I loved it so much, and it kind of got me back into comics a little bit after I dropped out for a year or so. I didn't care about this Venom thing in here to the point where I forgot it even was in the book. But I really liked the Ultimate preview a lot, and that's why I have it so high up on the list. This Maleficent book, I don't really care about Disney stuff at all, but this book was really well done. My boyfriend picked this one up on his grab of stuff, and I'm glad he did, because I never would have touched this otherwise, and it was really cool. This artwork is good, and it was well written, and a lot of the book ends up without dialogue, or very light on the dialogue, and you can follow everything perfectly with the visuals of just the artistic storytelling. I would say I really like this artist a lot, but it is written and illustrated by the same person, so I'm always extra impressed when I see that, because that means you got a creative vision who can do well writing out the story and thinking it, but actually putting it on the paper with their drawings. Like, this is all real cool. And it's about this young prince who's wandering in the forest, meets this magical sorceress lady, and then he ends up trying to steal a magical trinket from him, and she curses the dude and like turns him into this goofy looking animal. And this is just like a preview lead in to an upcoming series, so that's pretty cool. I like that. Doesn't make me really want to buy it, but it really got me interested, and it worked very well as its own singular complete story, even though it leads into another story too. So that's why I got that right there on the list. So yeah, number 9. Now this is where it gets real hard. This is number 8, and I had this initially higher up on my list, except this is one of those where the whole thing says it's Johnny Quest, and then Johnny Quest is one of 3 features. But this Johnny Quest series is awesome. I love this art style, and that's what you're getting in it. And it totally captures the vibe of that original cartoon series. It's just pure fun adventure. Like, I double checked to see who was working on it, and it's Joe Casey who wrote it. And like, great job, Joe Casey. You have a great name, and you have a great writing capacity. And I have a few things of his. I have a couple trade paperbacks and stuff of his. I like it. This Sebastian, I like him a lot. Great artist. Totally captures this cartoony vibe. It's realistic. It's cartoony. It diverges from the cartoon's animation, but it still harkens back to it. And we have this really cool adventure. It's just a few pages, but it really hooks me to pick up this upcoming series. I want to check this out. This was really good. But then we get this Thundercats preview, and I don't give a crap about Thundercats at all, and I resent this so much for taking away pages from Johnny Quest. The artwork looks alright, like it's good. I just don't care about Thundercats. And then we get pages interview about Thundercats. But this Space Ghost was really cool. I dig this cover art here. Hella awesome. And I like the interior artwork too. The writing's pretty good. This didn't hook me the way that Johnny Quest did, but it looks all right. I wouldn't go out of my way to buy this Space Ghost book, but if it was a backup feature or it shared a comic with the Johnny Quest feature, I would pick it up. I want to rate this higher, but we have some really good books coming up. But just the Johnny Quest itself, I'm going to be picking up that title at least for a couple issues. This Mad magazine right here, though, was phenomenal. It's really funny. I mean, look at the cover. You're laughing. And it just reprints a bunch of older Mad magazine strips and gags all about DC superheroes. So I love these bits here where they do the newspaper comic strips as DC characters. This Kathy really made me chuckle quite a bit. And I really like this Peanuts one with Harley Quinn and the Joker. This Spy vs. Spy is real good. Like, I'm not going to go through this whole book. I'm trying to make this brief, and I'm already going on too long. But there's a lot of great gags in this book, and that's why I have it rated so high. I kind of want to put it in my top 5, but this is all reprinted stuff, and I wanted my top 5 to be all brand new material. Same thing with this next volume here. I would have had this higher, except I didn't want to put reprints in my top 5, but this is all reprints of classic Atlas comics, and this book was so awesome. If you can only grab 5, try and work this in. I'm sure one of my top 5 won't be up to your flavor, but this was so good. I enjoyed it, and we have they're all pretty comedic. This one right here is so funny, and it's all just about angry readers, and it's about a fella coming to complain to the editor. I love it. This is so good. This is a great Twilight Zone-y sort of comic here about a fella who hires someone to kill him because he doesn't think he'll have the guts to commit suicide, and then finding out that his incurable illness was actually a mistake. But then he dies of a heart attack being afraid of the guy hunting him down. It's just real fun. This one's a real cool old school sci-fi story. It was real goofy, and I love the ending where the guy looks at the reader and asks you a moral question. This is a real cool war story, this Rain right here. This is really good. I would say it's probably the best comic in the whole issue, even though it wasn't my favorite of them. Like, it was just really, really good. This Pascal the Rascal was also a really good, fun jab at Dennis the Menace and the creator of that book. And this Kiss of Death, which was the cover feature, was a really good horror tale. Yeah, this whole book was real good. I would highly recommend this one. Like I say, it would be higher on the list, except it's all reprinted material. But now we're on to the top 5, the cream of the crop. At number 5, we have I Like Popeye. And this was really fun and absolutely goofy. It's like Popeye as an anime. Like, it is so ridiculous. The artwork's really exaggerated. I can see people being turned off by the artwork. It's not my favorite, but I enjoy how I enjoy the exaggerated fights and how funny it was. I was laughing throughout the whole book, and I'm also hearing all the voices in my head from that classic cartoon. And so that's great too. I'm loving Bluto here. He's so fun in this book, and yeah. See, I'm just laughing going through the book, remembering reading it, and all the goofy gags and the fights. Like, look at this badass here. Like, it's literally a stupid anime where big monster comes and, oh, we gotta fight, and like, who's the toughest? Popeye's the toughest. Why? Because he's Popeye. It's just great. It's this book has soul to it, and the fights are good. It's got goofy action, it makes me smile. So that's why it's up on my list here. It's a whole lot of fun. I highly recommend it. It's a good story just by itself, but it makes a great preview for an upcoming series, which would be fun to pick up. Here at number 4, we got the Energon universe. This was awesome. This cover art is sick as hell. Holy crap. I opened this up, and this is 3 features. We got Transformers, Void Rivals, and G.I. Joe. Now, I'm telling you, I'm not going to the comic shop and picking up each individual issue. I'm not doing that. It's hard enough having the comic shop pull the books I want on a list, but like things selling out and stuff. But if you made all of these in one magazine, like if I could just go to the comic shop and pick up a magazine that was the exact same format of this comic of Transformers, Void Rivals, G.I. Joe, I would spend $10 on that a month in a heartbeat. But I'm not spending $15 on 3 separate titles, having to go to the comic shop 3 separate times. You feel me? So, Skybound, if you're listening, maybe follow the format of your free comic book day issue. Maybe do that with your, do that as like a cheaper trade paperback. Like release 6 months ago's comics in a magazine format bundled together cheaper. That would be pretty cool. But I very much enjoyed this Transformers issue a lot. It was really good. I thought it was kick-ass. The action, the artwork, and the writing. The whole thing was good. This Void Rivals, I enjoyed it. I don't know who these monsters are, what their deals are, but they're scheming, they're conniving, they're fun. I know this fella, I know Hot Rod. So there's that little bit of connection, but I don't know what his deal is in this universe. And this one was the most previewy of the books, I felt. But it got me intrigued to check out the Void Rival concept and see what's going. This G.I. Joe is pretty good. It's all about Duke recruiting the Baroness into the Joes. So I'm intrigued to see what's going on with that. But that one felt really short. The Transformers was definitely the key feature, and it was the title book. But yeah, if they could follow the format of just having all those books in one magazine, because I'm loving Savage Sword, just the magazine format, and yeah, if they could follow suit with something like this, I would jump on board, Skybound. At number 3, I have this Star Wars. This was hella good, and it just happened to also be May 4th, which they were saying is Star Wars Day, because they say May the 4th be with you. So maybe I bumped it up a little bit in the spirit of that. But there's 2 stories in here. One's about Star Wars, and the other is for the Darth Vader comic, but both were excellent. I have the omnibus of Star Wars by Jason Aaron, and I enjoyed that quite a bit. I also have the 2 Darth Vader omnibuses they released, and both of those were awesome. One I liked a little bit more than the other, but honestly, it's been so long I don't remember which one I liked better. Just because I read them back to back, so they actually blend in a little bit together. They were both really cool though, and this Darth Vader one was really good. And I would say it was the best of the 2. It really hooked me and makes me want to check out further stuff. I'm not picking it up in singles, but I'll pick up the collected edition when they release it. This was really good though. I loved the main Star Wars. Yeah, who was doing that? Okay, so Charles Soule was doing the Star Wars one. That's cool because I really liked his Darth Vader book. So if he's doing the current Star Wars, that's awesome. And Greg Pak did the Darth Vader book, and that Darth Vader one was really sick. I love Greg Pak too. I've read a number of his stuff in the past that I very much enjoyed. So I guess I'm gonna have to put that on the list too. And then here we have. I struggled so hard not to put this at number 1. But at number 2, we have this Flash Gordon preview. this Flash Gordon book was awesome. If you can only pick up one comic, seriously consider this one of them. I am going to be picking up this new series. It really hooked me. I like the interior artwork a lot, and the writing is really good. I have a very soft familiarity with Flash Gordon. I've seen the movie from like the 80s. I've read some old like newspaper strips, but like I haven't really seen any of the old serials or anything. I just have a passing idea of who a couple of these characters are and their relationships, but this does a good job of really giving you a refresher of this is this guy, this is that guy, that's their deal, and this is what's happening, and here's the new interesting thing to make you want to pick up this new series. Much like Marvel's Annihilation series did way back in the day, whether you knew the characters or not, it did a really good job of introducing you to the new status quo and what was going on, and make you want to find out what happens next. And that's what this does. It makes me want to find out what happens next. And here's the previews of what they have coming. So that's their upcoming print schedule of stuff going. And I'm very curious. I'm definitely gonna at least check out the first issue and see if it hooks me in the same way that this did. So that's my number 2, and then no surprise at number 1, I have Conan and the Battle of the Black Stone. This was really awesome. I really struggled between this and that Flash Gordon though, because I enjoyed Flash Gordon so much, but Conan is my thing. I love the original stories. I love all the shitty bad stories that were written after Howard died. I really love all the good ones. The comics are great no matter how bad they are, but the good ones are really good. Now, I've read a couple that were real stinkers, but this isn't one of them. I tell you, this guy Jim Zub, he is just phenomenal. I've been enjoying everything Conan he's been writing. Like that is the number one thing I'm picking up at the comic shop. It's just like, if I have a reason to go, it's for that Conan the Barbarian book. I just feel it. He gets the character so well. And this is kind of funny, but they're introducing some other Robert E. Howard characters into the mythos, and I guess they all are kind of interconnected in a way, but I never really think about it when I'm reading Conan. But that's what the current Conan series has been doing, with him going a little bit back in time and meeting our Spear Boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just interesting that they're going in that direction, and we're going to introduce more and make a Howard verse. I guess everything's a universe now, but this was fantastic. The artwork was sick. The writing was really well done, and it made me intrigued to check out this crossover miniseries, although I honestly would have probably picked it up anyway just because I dig Conan stuff. But this essay in the back was really interesting, where they talked about how everything is sort of interwoven within the books. I've been enjoying these essays a lot, just if nothing for the fact that they do a good job of all building off of the previous essay while still addressing something completely new in the current issue at hand that you just read. So that's real cool. Yeah, that's my top 20. And Conan's at the top. Flash Gordon, though, that was really good too. And if you can grab that Atlas reprints, those were awesome. So thanks for joining me, and I'll talk to you later.